A Mortal's Journey to Immortality episode 352. In the previous episode, Han Li and several nascent soul cultivators gathered at a remote mountain. Each cautious and keeping their distance until Elder Wei of the Nine Serenities sect arrived with his enigmatic junior sister. Suspicion grew when Old Man Fu revealed that Han Li was rumored to have slain formidable enemies, forcing him to deny the claims while keeping his secrets buried. As tensions eased, Old Man Fu activated powerful wards and finally disclosed why he had summoned them: the legendary nascent cultivating pill. A divine medicine said to shatter bottlenecks, might be within reach, but the crucial ingredient, a piece of flesh from an Umbra Yin horse, was believed extinct. Until Old Man Fu revealed he had discovered traces of one in the dense lands of Nanjiang. What will happen next? Stay tuned. And the story continues. After Old Man Fu declared that he had found the whereabouts of the Umbra Yin horse, a moment of silence passed. Han Li, Bai Yaoyi, and Cultivator Yuan all turned to him, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and caution. Cultivator Yuan spoke first, his voice carrying a note of concern. Since fellow Taoist has already discovered the nest of the Umbra Yin horse, yet still seeks our assistance, does this mean that you have encountered difficulties? Old Man Fu shook his head slightly, his eyes calm but serious. The Umbra Yin horse is indeed exceptionally skilled at hiding its tracks. It leaves no trace as it travels, and capturing it would take a long time and a careful plan. However, the real difficulty lies in the location of its nest. It is within the Yin Yang Cave of the Myriad Poisons Valley. I cannot pursue it there directly, and given the horse's intelligence, it will not leave the cave, it will only approach the entrance at most. At the mention of the cave, Bai Yaoyi's complexion paled, and even Cultivator Yuan's eyes widened in shock. Han Li, having never heard of this mysterious place, could not hide his curiosity. The Yin Yang Cave? He asked, his brow furrowed. Is it really that dangerous? Bai Yaoyi, surprised at his ignorance, gave a small exclamation. Then, her expression became serious as she explained. You are from overseas, so it makes sense you do not know. The Yin Yang Cave is notorious throughout the Great Jin. It is one of the 7 most perilous places, and most cultivators who enter never return. Han Li leaned in, intrigued. What makes it so deadly? Old Man Fu's voice took on a solemn tone. The cave is a place where yin and yang forces clash violently. The cold, soul-scouring yin winds blow throughout the year, enough to shatter even a nascent soul. On top of that, the cave is haunted by several types of vicious ghosts. Even if a living person can endure the winds, the ghosts will devour them. Cultivator Yuan added with a scoff. That is not all. The cave's depths are a labyrinth of intertwining passages. Some cultivators have managed to descend far into the depths, but they could not fully explore the area. The yin winds prevent spiritual senses from functioning properly, leaving them no better than ordinary mortals. Rumors even tell of a ghost monarch residing in the depths, though it remains unconfirmed as very few dare to explore so far. Bai Yaoyi's brow relaxed slightly as she nodded in agreement. There is little of value there now. Long ago, rare ores could be found, but only inferior veins remain. If Brother Fu has discovered an Umbra Yin horse there, it seems the cave's secrets are far more significant than we realized. Han Li, who had faced numerous dangers such as Heavenvoid Hall and Devilfall Valley, did not hide his skepticism. He spoke with icy certainty. If Brother Fu has been unable to capture this horse after so many years, there must be some complications behind it. Old Man Fu nodded. Exactly. That is why I have prepared for decades. I have refined treasures specifically to resist the ghosts, and to counter the yin winds. I will bring the dark violet pearls from our sect. These will reduce the yin wind's power by half, making the journey at least somewhat manageable. Both Bai Yaoyi and Cultivator Yuan were visibly moved at the mention of the dark violet pearls, one of the 9 Serenities sect's 3 signature treasures. Old Man Fu's expression turned serious as he continued. If you assist me in capturing the Umbra Yin horse, I will use it immediately to refine the nascent cultivating pill. Each of you will receive one. The pill's effect is unique to your body, but regardless of quantity, Each pill has the same effect. As for any other treasures we may find in the cave, that will depend on chance. Even if a ghost monarch appears, with our combined strength, we can handle it." Silence fell over the group, their minds racing with the magnitude of the task. Cultivator Yuan, usually the most eager, now wore a pensive look. Bai Yaoyi's fingers twitched as she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "If Brother Fu has prepared so meticulously, why seek us out? Surely mid-nascent soul cultivators could be found in your own sect." Old Man Fu's expression darkened, his voice growing fierce. "That may be true for others, but not for me. Due to past grievances, I am hostile toward most cultivators of similar grade in my sect. Except for my junior martial sister Chong. The others would rather see me dead, even if they agreed to help. I would have no trust. They might betray me at the first opportunity." Han Li remained quiet, unsure of the truth behind his words, but he knew pressing further would be fruitless. After a thoughtful pause, Bai Yaoyi finally spoke. "Given the dangers of the Yin Yang Cave, I need time to consider this. Allow me 3 days to decide." "Of course," Old Man Fu replied calmly. "We will not begin until the Yin winds are at their weakest in half a year. During the 20-year cycle, you should also prepare tools and treasures to deal with the ghosts. But before we depart, I require you to sign the Underworld River page with your blood essence. Swearing a venomous oath never to speak of this matter. I value my safety above all, and this secret must not be revealed." Cultivator Yuan's eyes widened in alarm. The Underworld River page? That cursed tool was believed lost hundreds of years ago. Han Li felt a shiver run down his spine at the mention. Old Man Fu waved his sleeve, and a yellow page engulfed in black flames appeared. "I acquired it through the underground market. It may not be as fearsome as legends claim, but it will ensure your silence. Fellow Taoists, you should remember the fate of Feng Tianxing from the Heavenly Devil sect. Let us not test the page's power." After a moment of hesitation, Cultivator Yuan accepted, summoning the page and using his blood essence to sign it. A ghostly malevolent face emerged from the flames, devouring his written oath before vanishing. Bai Yaoyi followed, signing the page similarly. When it came to Han Li, Old Man Fu's brow furrowed. The page's power reacted strangely to Han Li, producing a cry that caught everyone's attention. The ghost face warped and vanished in confusion. Han Li explained calmly, "There is no need for me to sign. I will keep this secret and remain in Nanjiang for the coming 6 months. I will not depart or divulge anything." Old Man Fu stared in astonishment, realizing the page could not bind Han Li. Still, he had no other way to ensure Han Li's silence. Finally, the black-clothed woman, her voice slightly hoarse, spoke. "Senior Marshal Brother Fu, I find fellow Taoist Han's words reasonable. I will trust him to keep quiet." The woman's voice was somewhat hoarse, but it invoked an indescribable attraction. With a flutter of her bright eyes, it felt like she could bewitch someone with her beauty. When Old Man Fu heard his junior martial sister, he hesitated for a moment but eventually nodded after some thought. "Since the Underworld River page has no effect on fellow Taoist Han, I will not force the matter," Old Man Fu said slowly, his gaze sharp yet calm. "However, I must place a marker on your body. It will naturally dissipate in half a year, provided you remain in Nanjiang. I trust fellow Taoist Han will not compel me to act otherwise." Han Li smiled lightly, unbothered. "Go ahead, fellow Taoist Fu. I have no need to conceal my whereabouts." Old Man Fu's eyes flickered with relief as he grasped Han Li's hand. Muttering a brief incantation, a blue light flickered from his palm and enveloped Han Li. Observing carefully, Han Li noted that it was nothing more than a common imprinting spell seal. He raised his hand to allow the light to strike him, watching it dissipate without leaving any trace. Satisfied, Old Man Fu stored the Underworld River page away. "I have finished explaining everything regarding this matter," he said, his voice firm. "Since fellow Taoist Bai still requests 3 days to consider, my junior martial sister and I will remain here for now. Brother Yuan and fellow Taoist Han may depart to begin preparations, although the entrance to the Yin Yang Cave is overgrown with poisonous plants. These should not pose significant danger. Nonetheless, Fellow Taoist Yuan, I recommend bringing poison-warding treasures. It would be best not to exhaust unnecessary magic power before entering the cave. Cultivator Yuan chuckled confidently. That is no issue. For those of us in the sacred poison sect, warding against toxins is trivial. I will handle it. I shall depart first. With that, he cupped his hands, slapped his storage pouch, and released a massive tortoise that he rode into the sky, leaving a faint trail of smoke. Han Li followed shortly, streaking across the sky in azure light, silently noting that half a year was a short span. But he might still have enough time to refine the Triflame fan. Preparing ghost-warding treasures seemed unnecessary, with the divine Devilbane lightning and the weeping soul beast at his disposal. He was confident in his protection. Guided by purpose, Han Li headed for the Silver Serpent Mountains, a winding mountain range in the center of Nanjiang. 10 days later, he arrived above the Serpentine Peaks, marveling at the verdant trees, some with faintly silver leaves that gave the mountains their distinctive name. Flying swiftly, he passed through the surrounding areas and approached the mountaintops, soon struck by waves of hot wind and the pungent scent of sulfur. Before him stood several flaming, malformed volcanoes that rumbled occasionally and expelled gray ash. Despite this, streaks of colored light moved between the volcanoes. Several tens of cultivators, mostly at Foundation establishment with a few core formation practitioners, darted amidst the fiery landscape. Refining their magic tools, Han Li hovered in the sky, scanning the fire veins below with his spiritual sense. He quickly located the area with the strongest concentration of fire energy and positioned himself between two volcanoes. 3 meters above the ground, he released 8 small golden swords from his sleeve. The swords whirled around him as he performed an intricate incantation. With a shout, the swords struck the earth in 10-meter streaks of radiant golden light. Explosions erupted as the ground split in a 60-meter-wide crevice. The nearby cultivators, alarmed by the display, flew closer out of curiosity. Han Li's expression darkened at their intrusion. Releasing the full force of his cultivation aura, he swept the area with suffocating spiritual pressure. Within moments, all cultivators within 10 kilometers had fled, leaving the space around him silent and undisturbed. Satisfied, Han Li focused back on the crevice. Over the next month, occasional thunderous explosions echoed from below as he continued refining the Triflame fan. The explosions gradually decreased, replaced by faint, melodic ringing similar to the cry of a phoenix. Eventually, silence returned, leaving the crevice as the sole witness to his labor. Meanwhile, in a side chamber of the Great Jin Imperial Palace, a dozen cultivators of various sects gathered quietly. Taoists, Buddhists, and Confucian scholars alike occupied the hall, all at nascent soul cultivation. Among them were a square-faced cultivator and an old Taoist nun wielding a golden cane. A black-hatted elder also observed solemnly. The hall was tense, with no one speaking, all eyes fixed on the entrance. The square-faced cultivator finally broke the silence, glancing at a white-haired Taoist priest. 11th brother, are you certain it is him? 300 years ago, I personally witnessed our 7th uncle perish. The glacial moonblade and his unique appearance make confusion impossible. The priest replied calmly. The old Taoist nun added solemnly, there is no need for anxiety. Soon, we shall know. If he is our 7th uncle, he will greatly aid the Yi clan. If not, he cannot escape unnoticed, even if a late nascent soul cultivator. The square-faced cultivator nodded, conceding her caution, and waited. 2 hours later, the sound of distant bell chimes echoed through the palace. A lanky figure appeared at the hall's entrance and, with a strange, almost imperceptible step through the air, arrived at the hall's center. His appearance was eccentric: fine eyes, withering eyebrows, an unusually large head, and a neck that swayed precariously as if about to snap. The assembled cultivators rose in shock. The square-faced cultivator inhaled deeply, asking carefully, are you truly our 7th uncle? The eccentric chuckled, tossing a green jade slip toward him. Second nephew, have you already forgotten me after 3 centuries? My return from death will naturally raise questions. Here is third nephew's sound transmission slip. Examine it. The square-faced cultivator caught the jade slip, sinking his spiritual sense into it. After some time, his expression shifted from shock to joy. He saluted deeply. "Seventh uncle, your death was orchestrated by our Grand Elder. Forgive my lack of manners." The eccentric waved a hand dismissively. "I am pleased by your care. How could I blame you?" The other cultivators examined the jade slip, and soon all called out in delight. "Paying respects. It truly is seventh uncle. I pay my respects to my third great uncle." With a wave and a chuckle, the eccentric took the main seat. The old Taoist nun respectfully inquired. Third brother mentioned that 200 years ago, seventh uncle had reached late nascent soul stage. Is this accurate? That is correct, the eccentric replied solemnly. In the past, great sects sought to strike me down. Believing I might reach this stage, I fled, surviving against the odds, and eventually ascended to late nascent soul. The previous generation of Yi clan elders had planned for my appearance when our clan faced near destruction. Third nephew, aware of my existence, informed me of your situation. As the grand elder of the current generation, he asked me to assist in this matter. I considered it for a while and felt that it was important enough to break my concealment. The eccentric's face turned serious. The square-faced cultivator happily said, "With seventh uncle and third brother, we will have two great powers assisting us in acquiring the treasure. And with all of our clan's internal disciples and the external cultivators we've hired, we will be able to contest against the 10 great sects of the righteous and devilish Tao. Our expedition to Nanjiang now holds significant hope for success." The eccentric, seventh uncle, remained calm, his tone measured. "I will only lend my strength and nothing more. Whether or not the Yi clan can escape the influence of the righteous and devilish Tao depends entirely on you lot." The square-faced cultivator and the old Taoist nun both expressed their gratitude in humble words, while the other elders of the greatest clan in the Jin Empire spent half a day further scheming before finally departing the hall, setting their plans into motion. Meanwhile, in a hidden chamber of the imperial city, a massive two-headed, four-armed devil stirred, shrouded in pitch-black devilish qi that shimmered with purple-black light from his eyes. After an indeterminate period, the devil shouted, sending coiling streams of qi rushing into his body, crackling violently as he assumed a new form, an ordinary youth, bearing a striking resemblance to Han Li. This was the elder devil, who had long concealed itself within the Yi clan. A sneer played across his lips. "Not bad, I have mostly recovered from my injuries. As long as I avoid those ancient eccentrics, none in the great Jin can oppose me. The Yi clan members will act soon. And with my knowledge of ancient matters, they will certainly bring me along. Hee, once I am there." The devil's voice trailed off ominously, filled with confidence and latent malice. Far from there, within the Yin sifting sect's secret cave outside the Jin capital, Zhe Tianhao conversed with the Endless Sky Saintess. "Lin Yinping, I have received information that Fu Cheng of the Nine Serenities sect has appeared in Nanjiang. Had we not received a tip, we would not have known he joined the underground trade meeting with that wretch surnamed Han. It is possible he is accompanying Fu Cheng. Our sect's grand elder has matters nearby and will personally deal with this Han fellow if he discovers him. Is fellow Taoist Lin interested in joining?" Lin Yinping shook her head calmly. "Fu Cheng's presence does not necessarily mean Han is there. I have also received word that a squadron led by Grand Immortal Shu has entered the Great Jin and will soon meet me at the Jin capital. I must remain here for now. If we still lack concrete information, I will take the group to Nanjiang." Zhe Tianhao paused, surprised, then smiled. "Fellow Taoist Shu is arriving too? That is excellent news. The Grand Elder will be pleased. I will stay with you and meet them together, as instructed to accompany you at all times." The Endless Sky Saintess nodded, her expression thoughtful, frowning slightly. Han appeared on the coast where 3 small sects hosted him as a guest elder. "Do your spies have information regarding this?" "We have found nothing," Zhe Tianhao admitted. "He is exceedingly cunning. Aside from helping the sects with a single matter, he has not made another appearance. While it is known he has a connection with the Heavenly Talisman sect, it was fleeting. He would not hesitate if the 3 sects were destroyed." Lin Yinping's lips pressed into a thin line. "Indeed, he hails from the heavenly south. It is unlikely he cares about these minor sects. Before arriving in the Great Jin, I dispatched spies to uncover his true identity. After sufficient time, there should now be intelligence available. When Grand Immortal Shu arrives, we can confirm it and prepare more effectively for our next engagement. Zhe Tianhao's heart stirred at her words. Although the Endless Sky Saintess cited vengeance for slain soaring tribe cultivators, it was clear she had a deeper reason for maintaining her presence in the Great Jin for so many years. Han Li's abilities, which could rival a late nascent soul cultivator, likely drew her attention for reasons beyond mere revenge. The Endless Sky Saintess herself did not appear as calm as her demeanor suggested. She had long concealed the disappearance of a holy beast's incarnation. Fortunately, its true body remained ignorant of the events, but she had to act soon to rescue it, leveraging the yin-sifting sect cultivators to minimize her own losses. Resolving herself, she prepared for the coming actions. In a region bordering Nanjiang in another province, a smiling old man traveled using body lightening techniques. He spoke eloquently and entertainingly to younger Qi condensation sect members making their first journey, drawing laughter and fascination from his audience. Han Li would have recognized him immediately as Xianxia, a suspected deity transformation cultivator. After Han Li left the Heavenly Talisman sect, Xianxia had mysteriously disappeared, his absence alarming the sect. Their upper echelon suspected Han Li's involvement. Records of Xianxia were erased, his existence suppressed, making his sudden reappearance after so many years both enigmatic and concerning. Several months later, the Silver Serpent Mountains witnessed a startling spectacle. A cheerful whistle echoed as a blinding azure streak erupted from underground, streaking into the sky before vanishing over the horizon. Cultivators witnessing this display remained silently shocked. A week later, Han Li's azure streak traveled west, crossing the largest regional forests and 1,000-kilometer mountain ranges, finally arriving above a massive basin enveloped in a toxic yellow miasma stretching kilometers into the air. He descended alongside the mist, landing smoothly. An old man rose from a group of seated cultivators nearby, smiling. "Fellow Taoist Han, you are a bit late. Fellow Taoists Bai and Yuan arrived several days ago." Han Li saluted politely. "I was refining a magic tool and only finished a few days ago. I hope this does not offend anyone." Bai Yaoyi's eyes softened as she studied him. "It matters little. The yin winds will gradually weaken over 3 months. A few days' delay is inconsequential. Since you have arrived after refining your tool, take a couple of days to recover your magic power." Old Man Fu grunted in agreement. "Fellow Taoist Bai is correct. We must conserve our magic power before entering the Yin Yang Cave." The towering cultivator Yuan and Old Man Fu's junior martial sister, Chang, silently concurred. Han Li nodded. "Very well. A few days of rest shall prepare us adequately. Once recovered, we will enter the valley." His gaze lingered on the yellow miasma that faintly veiled the valley entrance. With a wave of his hand, he summoned a twinkling green mid-grade wood spirit stone, seated cross-legged, and closed his eyes, entering meditation to restore his spiritual and magical energies. The others similarly focused, honing themselves to optimal readiness. After 2 days, Han Li stirred. Old Man Fu's voice rang out sharply. "We set off." The group rose, enveloped in protective light barriers. "Using my poison-warding scepter, we shall traverse the myriad poison valley with ease. Beware of the venomous insects within the mist. Do not allow them to breach your protective lights. Were it not for ancient restrictions on the valley, flying in would have been safer." Cultivator Yuan instructed, brandishing a silver glowing jade scepter. He advanced first, piercing the mists. The large man then used a body lightening technique before rushing in, with the others employing their own techniques to charge into the valley. Half a day later, in the depths of Myriad Poison Valley, silver light flashes lit the air, followed by the explosions of huge fireballs. With each rupture, dozens of roasted venomous insects fell from the air. A sudden rise in temperature caused a small sea of flames to burst from the ground, instantly turning the insects to ash. Bai Yaoyi clicked her tongue in admiration. Fellow Taoist Han's control over magic techniques has reached perfection. If you said you were fire attributed, none would dare question it. Han Li remained indifferent. It is only a result of practice," he said casually. "When my cultivation was lesser, I had a preference for using fireballs." As silver light illuminated the area, the group of nascent soul cultivators became visible, walking through the fading sea of flames. Han Li's eyes swept ahead, and he suddenly stopped, frowning. The thinning poisonous mist revealed something ominous in the distance. Before he could fully deploy his spiritual sense, Cultivator Yuan raised his jade scepter, and it blazed with silver light, fully illuminating the area before them. What Han Li saw made his breath catch. 100 meters ahead stretched a giant ravine at least 300 meters wide. With no visible end, black yin winds occasionally swept out from it, scattering the poisonous mist. Among the group, only Han Li and Bai Yaoyi had not seen this place before. The remaining cultivators did not appear surprised. The violent yin winds were expected. "This is the entrance to the Yin Yang Cave. Everyone, take a look," the old man said. They approached the edge of the ravine, peering into its unfathomable depths. Inside, a fluctuating vortex of pitch-black yin winds churned, accompanied by ghostly howls and wails echoing from below. Han Li's gaze turned to the walls of the ravine, which sparkled with crystal-like formations resembling a dense layer of ice. Old Man Fu examined the immense chasm and let out a long breath. "These are ordinary yin winds. But at a kilometer deep, the soul-shaking yin winds will appear. Even we would struggle without preparation. That is why I brought the dark violet pearl. It will significantly reduce the danger." He continued, "The intensity of the soul-shaking yin winds varies with location inside the cave. You must be extremely careful." Old Man Fu raised a purple orb, no larger than a fist. Han Li cautiously examined it, but as soon as he probed with his spiritual sense, his vision blurred. He felt disoriented, as if his soul might leave his body. Panic rose, but his body instinctively circulated the great development art, restoring clarity and bringing a cool sensation to his mind. Though his expression remained calm, Han Li's heart raced. This Devil Dao treasure was truly extraordinary. He glanced at cultivators Yuan and Bai Yaoyi, whose faces had grown unsightly. Their method of resisting the pearl's effects remained a mystery. Ignoring the minor chaos, Old Man Fu muttered an incantation. A blinding light erupted from the pearl, forming a luminous ring around 100 meters. Under its influence, the group felt the yin wind's viciousness reduce by over half. Cultivator Yuan tucked away his scepter. "The dark violet pearl lives up to its reputation," he remarked. With the pearl in one hand, Yuan summoned a purple-red mist of light with the other. "Praise is premature. You will understand its full power further inside. Let us proceed." A flash of green light enveloped him, and he dropped into the ravine. The others followed, deploying their protective treasures while remaining inside the pearl's light. Cultivator Yuan wielded a dark jade tablet. Bai Yaoyi summoned a crystalline saber. The black-robed woman used a pitch-black shield, and Han Li released several golden swords. Together, they glowed with luminescence, descending into the ravine and disappearing into the black vortex. Far away, in Nanjiang, 8 Yi clan leaders gathered above a small lake, all dressed differently, standing attentively before a black-clothed figure. Among them, the eccentric with the large head swayed slightly, standing beside the square-faced middle-aged cultivator, while the elder devil, disguised as Han Li, observed silently. The black-clothed cultivator, showing great respect to the nascent soul elders, addressed the group. 400 years ago, our Yi clan discovered a destroyed stone tablet from antiquity, revealing the approximate location of Kunwu Mountain. This is where our plans began. The mountain was once a holy land for cultivators, but for unknown reasons, it was sunk into the ground. Aside from the ancient dwellings, 2 divine spirit treasures were sealed within. Should our clan acquire these treasures, our strength will grow immeasurably, enabling us to rival the great sects of the righteous and devilish Dao. Over the last 100 years, we dispatched numerous clan disciples across the Great Jin to locate the site, finally finding it beneath this lake. He paused, continuing, "We summoned the clan's formation Grand Masters to dissolve the restrictions. This was a matter of utmost importance, directly overseen by the Grand Elder. With only a few others aware, The restrictions are far more profound than anticipated, spread across 50 kilometers. A dozen formation grandmasters spent over a century researching a method to break them. Using the power of heaven and earth, we aim to turn the sealing restrictions against themselves. The process required enormous materials and numerous spell formations, all acquired carefully. The final formation will take another month to complete. Once placed, a grand-scale concealment formation will suppress the thunderous effects of breaking the seal, allowing the elders to enter Kunwu Mountain and seize the treasures. Murmurs of excitement rose among the gathered elders. Kunwu Mountain? That is our objective? One asked. I thought it was merely an ancient cultivator residence, another exclaimed. So it contains divine spirit treasures. A third added. The square-faced cultivator's expression darkened. Do not rejoice prematurely. Breaking the formation is only the first step. If it were simple, why involve third brother and seventh uncle? Furthermore, third brother will be delayed for a month to avoid spies. An elder in Taoist robes inquired. Does this mean Kunwu Mountain holds hidden dangers? More than just danger, the square-faced cultivator replied gravely. Kunwu Mountain was a holy land for ancient cultivators. Why seal it along with 2 divine spirit treasures? We cannot predict the astonishing secrets or threats lurking within. The assembled elders exchanged worried glances. But the eccentric chuckled, dispelling some tension. These are only the worst possibilities. There may be other reasons for the seal. You need not worry, but remain cautious. If anything occurs, I will intervene. The square-faced cultivator then addressed the disguised elder devil. Elder Han, your knowledge of ancient records will be essential inside Kunwu Mountain. We have already secured 2 devilish artifacts, which will be given to you after the matter concludes. Also, apologies. There was a slight error in continuity. The black-robed Yi clan elder was actually the square-faced, middle-aged Yi clan elder that was mentioned earlier. The elder devil calmly nodded. I will strive my hardest for those devilish artifacts. Good. Then let the matters proceed. Everyone, follow me to the bottom of the lake. Although this area is remote, we should be careful in case a passing cultivator spots us and avoid any potential trouble," said the square-faced man. A bright light shone around him, and he dove into the lake. One after another, the others followed, vanishing instantly beneath the calm surface, leaving behind only ripples and a gentle breeze. Thousands of kilometers away, Han Li and his companions faced unexpected obstacles within the Yin Yang Cave. Under his mental command, a ball of golden radiance shot out, effortlessly crushing a horned yin ghost that lunged at him. Golden light flared around him, slicing through 2 more nearby wraiths and reducing their forms to smoke. Han Li looked toward Old Man Fu and the others, who were actively using their magic treasures to strike down a relentless wave of ghosts. Though small and slender, the specters were fierce, and Han Li could not hide his discontent. Cultivator Yuan, having sliced through a ghost with a flick of green flame, sighed, "Brother Fu, we've been traveling for several days and still haven't found any trace of the Umbra Yin horse. While these low-grade ghosts are weak, they slow our progress." Han Li shared his frustration silently. Old Man Fu remained composed. "Do not be anxious. The cave is immense, and the horse is skilled at concealment. As for these minor ghosts, they pose little threat. If we replenish our magic power with spirit stones periodically, we will endure." Bai Yaoyi glanced around at the black winds swirling nearby. "That is true, but blocking the soul-shaking yin winds consumes a tremendous amount of magic power. With our current cultivation, we can last only about 2 more months." They moved through a passage towering 100 meters high, its walls sparkling with freezing inky ice, while dense black winds swirled violently. The dark violet pearl's protective ring lessened the threat, but Han Li and the others maintained a blinding light around themselves, unwilling to let even a single gust touch them. Endless waves of small ghosts formed from the accumulated yin energy, rushing at them like moths to a flame. With a flash of cold light, Bai Yaoyi's flying saber cut down the last ghost in the current wave. Clearing the path temporarily, they recalled their magic treasures and advanced cautiously. The yin winds obscured their spiritual senses, preventing them from seeing far, forcing them to proceed slowly. A mere meal's time passed before the winds ahead intensified, revealing a fork with one large passage and two smaller ones. Han Li's eyes flashed. Another fork? This will not do. If we must traverse multiple paths, we cannot search all caverns within 2 months. We need to split up. Cultivator Yuan looked at the dark violet pearl in Old Man Fu's hand and frowned. There is only one dark violet pearl. Without its protection, the soul-shaking yin winds will consume too much magic power, shortening our time inside the caves. Old Man Fu, unshaken, replied, if it is a matter of the pearl, I can use some blood essence to extend its protection temporarily. As long as the winds remain consistent, it should last a week. That will suffice for exploring each passage. Han Li said, we will leave magical markers on each of us so we can find each other once the pearl's light fades. Bai Yaoyi's brow furrowed. What if one of us encounters a high-grade ghost? Cultivator Yuan snorted. A ghost too powerful for a mid-nascent soul cultivator would be a ghost monarch. But this is not a true yin underworld. Such high-level ghosts are rare, and the legends here remain unverified. We must take the risk. Once the weakened winds end, we cannot linger. Old Man Fu and the black-robed woman exchanged a hesitant glance. They had not planned to separate, but the cave's complexity left no choice. If they did not split up, they risked returning empty-handed. Bai Yaoyi considered this and raised no objection. Old Man Fu decided, all right, we will follow this plan. Everyone must take care. Do not stray beyond a 3-day range from me, or replenishing the protective light will become impossible. Han Li gazed at the central passage. Do not worry, this main tunnel will likely be the central route. The side passages should be short. 3 days is more than enough for exploration. Old Man Fu spat a mist of blood essence onto the dark violet pearl, causing it to surge with power. He struck it with spell seals and reached out, summoning a ball of dazzling purple light. He directed it to his junior martial sister, and with a flash, the light merged into her body, forming a protective ring. The others observed and allowed the old man to perform the same technique on them, instilling confidence. After placing magical markers on one another, the party split into 3 groups. Old Man Fu led his junior martial sister down the central passage. Cultivator Yuan and Han Li chose the left and right paths, respectively, with Bai Yaoyi following Han Li after a moment of hesitation. Han Li slowed to let her catch up, traveling side by side. Along the way, Bai Yaoyi asked, Brother Han, does the Yin Yang Cave live up to its reputation? They say entering it is extremely perilous. Yet aside from the soul-shaking winds, nothing has been dangerous. Han Li smiled, though it may seem calm. These winds alone would shred a nascent soul cultivator without protective treasures. We have only encountered low-grade yin ghosts so far. As we go deeper, the yin energy will grow denser and produce far more dangerous specters. Bai Yaoyi nodded. Your words are reasonable, yet, her voice trailed as 8 yin ghosts suddenly materialized from nearby winds, rushing at them. In flashes of blue and golden light, Han Li and Bai Yaoyi executed the ghosts cleanly. They pressed forward, yet after half a day of searching, they found nothing of significance. Just as they prepared to return, a piercing whistle of a cold yin wind swept past them. What is that? Bai Yaoyi asked sharply. Han Li blinked. It sounds like a refined corpse. A high-grade ghost must be nearby. A refined corpse? The chances of that are slim, she said skeptically. The two approached the source fearlessly. Turning a corner, they discovered a cavern 10 meters tall. Violent yin winds howled inside, accompanied by faint ghostly whistling. Bai Yaoyi's eyes caught something sealed in glistening ice. She raised a hand, conjuring a fist-sized fireball. The scarlet flames struck the ice, melting it to reveal a blue flying sword embedded in the wall. The sword emitted a dim glow and rang clearly, trembling as if trying to free itself. Bai Yaoyi was astounded by the sight and with a wave of her sleeve, released a rope of crimson flame. With embers flickering in the air, it wrapped around the sword and pulled it into her hand. In this episode, we saw the unfolding of several major events in Han Li's journey. The Yi clan carefully planned their expedition to acquire treasures from Nanjiang. with powerful allies lending their strength, while a hidden elder devil prepared to exploit the situation for his own goals. Meanwhile, the Endless Sky Saintess and her allies investigated Han Li's activities, revealing that he was far more cunning and powerful than many suspected. Han Li and his companions ventured deep into the perilous Yin Yang Cave, skillfully navigating through dense, soul-shaking yin winds and relentless waves of ghosts. Using the dark violet pearl for protection, they strategically split up to explore multiple passages, overcoming numerous challenges with their magic treasures and clever tactics. Their perseverance led them to a remarkable discovery, a blue flying sword sealed in ice, a clue to the deeper mysteries and treasures hidden within the cave. What happens next? Stay tuned for the next episode of Immortal's journey to immortality. If you enjoyed this episode or found it exciting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to receive the latest updates on Han Li's journey. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the upcoming episodes.